Alright, everybody. So, guess what Surge did? Surge actually got a new phone, causing him to lose all of his progress on the app once again. I definitely need to start doing backups of my apps and stuff. I just keep on forgetting. I get excited and I get a new setup or a new software or whatever on the phone, and I forget to back up certain things because most of everything's backed up to the cloud now again. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and go through every single level up to level 9. So it's gonna be 1 through 9. I already have videos of me live streaming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. But obviously I have to do it all over again. Let me turn this down a little bit. Alright, so I have to do it all over again. So if someone, I could have just went through and done all of them and not recorded it, but maybe someone would benefit from seeing all of them on one up to level 9. Or I might just go ahead and do all the way through 1 through 11, right? So let's go ahead and get this started. So which of the following protocols is responsible for sending email? SMTP. Theoretically, I should get absolutely nothing wrong since I've already done these before, right? I just got to read the questions carefully and slowly, because that's usually what causes me to get all the answers wrong. Let me get Google up and running. Alright. So upper management has decreed that a firewall must be put in place immediately before your site suffers an attack similar to the one that struck a sister company. Responding to this order, your boss instructs you to implement a packet filter by the end of the week. A packet filter performs which function? So that prevents unauthorized packets from entering the network. So packet filters prevent unauthorized packets from entering or leaving a network. Packet filters are a type of firewall that blocks specified traffic based on IP addresses, protocol, and many other attributes. You have set up a wireless router on your network and configured it to use AES. What configuration option do you need to choose on the client's computers? So what configuration option do you need to choose on the client's computer to connect to the wireless router that has AES? That'd be WPA2. So AES, the clients will need WPA2. TKIP is utilized by WPA, and WEP is just weak. Virtual memory is configured through which system tool? Virtual memory is configured through which system tool? It's a system applet. The taskbar is for your stuff on the taskbar, obviously. So it's for like programs. Virtual configuration, I don't think there's such a thing. I don't think there's such a thing as memory manager. I know it's a system applet. Virtual memory settings are accessed through the performance tab or area of the system applet in control panel. Alright, which standard is used to encrypt and decrypt email messages on mobile devices? That's SMIME. It's the public key encryption standard used for encrypting and decrypting email. And every time I've looked this up, right, but like it tells you what it is, but so it's secure. Always has to secure, right, on these kind of things with encryption. Multi-purpose internet mail extensions. Okay. Multi-purpose internet mail extension. Sorry, I'm just checking email here. We're doing this live. Gotta keep my responsibilities at the same time. So secure multi-purpose internet mail extension. So does MIME mean that it's for all? Is an internet standard that extends the format of email to support text and character sets. So although MIME was designed mainly for SMTP, the content types defined by MIME standards are also important in communications protocol outside of email, such as HTTP, World Wide Web. Header at the... Oh, okay. So not only is it for mobile, it's for just any kind of electronic messaging applications, from the looks of it. Okay. So SMIME is a secure MIME. Multi-purpose internet mail extensions is for the actual the standard. Got it. Which of the following operating systems use the boot ini file during boot? Windows XP, because then everything after it uses the BCD, the boot configuration data. Awesome, level 1 done. Again, for like the 4th time. So here are the ads that come with it. It's crazy that the ads are showing because I have it on airplane mode. It's weird. You are setting up a cloud contract with the provider. Your team needs the ability to increase capacity without intervention from the provider. What do you request? So okay, so I think it'd be good to, I've already googled this before, but just to show y'all, okay. So cloud contracts. Let's go to the first one. I don't think this one shows. What did I look up last time? Because, okay, on this one, it's going to be on-demand self-service. So maybe it's because of the... what was it? Maybe there's another thing that I looked up. Never mind. Let's go on the next one. When replacing a power supply, which of the following tends to vary among power supplies and must be chosen properly to support all connected devices? So you want to have enough power to give power to all your devices, right? So you need a big bucket of power, so wattage. And plus, all these power supplies, you know, they're rated in watts. You know, you have your 700 watt, your 500, and all that good stuff. Which of the following tools allow you to test DirectX functionality? It's right in the name, DXDiag. DirectX Diagnostics. What kind of media is most commonly used when large amount of data need to be archived on a regular basis? It's tape. So I know tape seems old, but it's actually very commonly used to archive data. Optical disc takes a lot of burning. External hard drive, that could still go bad. A network share, you really don't want to have large amounts of data going and clogging up your network, right? So we'll go with tape. If permissions for a file are rwx, rw, -r, what permissions apply for a user who is a member of the group to which the owner belongs? So first part is a user, so that's read, write, execute. Middle part is group, read, write, and no execute. Last part is, I think, guest, right? Linux permissions. Okay, so the first part's owner, owner, group, and then other users. That's what I meant. So owner, user, group, and then every other user. So what permissions apply for a user who is a member of a group to which the owner belongs? So what permissions apply for a user who is a member of the group? So the group permissions would apply to that user. So that would be read and write only, right? What is the maximum amount of RAM supported in the 64-bit Enterprise Edition of Windows 7? So Windows 7 supports up to 192 gigs. Previously it was 128, I believe, for Windows Vista. So Enterprise and Ultimate and Professional all support 192. Home Premium Windows 7 supports 16, and the Starter supports only 2. Which of the following is located on the rightmost portion of the taskbar? So it doesn't specify what version of Windows, or even if it is Windows in this case, but you always know that the system tray is what's on the right side. Start menu's on the left. Quick launch is on the right, but it's not the rightmost. And then shutdown options are within start menu, so it's your system tray. Quick launch actually moved over to the left, if I'm not mistaken, in Windows 10. So where in Windows 7 can you manually create a restore point? So this one you have to know. I mean, I haven't used Windows 7 in a while. So Windows 7 does not allow for the manual creation of restore points. Incorrect. So that one's not right. System protection tab of system properties, maybe. In backup, beneath administrative tools. No, I think it's in some kind of properties window. System restore option beneath system tools. Got a feeling I'm gonna get this one wrong. I always get this one wrong. Okay, so system protection tab, I'm trying to visualize these, of system properties. So if you go to system properties, then system protection, that one sounds right. And then the system restore option beneath system tools, I don't think that one's it. Yeah, so in Windows 7, the ability to do this has been moved to the system protection tab of system properties. Okay, so what was it before, right? You learn by knowing more. No shit, right? So create restore point. So this one's Windows 7, right? So let's go with Windows Vista and see where it was before. So you click the start button, control panel, system and maintenance, system. In the left pane, select system protection, select the system protection tab, and then select create. Okay, so it used to be in system and maintenance, system. Okay, system protection. So in Vista it looks to be the same. And then let's do XP. Start accessories, system tools, and then create restore. Okay, so that one was in system tools. In the system restore window, select create. So system properties. System protection has it too. Like this one has it in the system protection tab as well. But this one looks to be Aero with Windows Vista. So let's make sure. Yeah, okay. So it was showing an image, but it was for Windows 8 and 10 on this one. I mean, I'm not wrong by saying it's Aero, right? Well, sorta. Aero look and style. I mean, this developed from Aero. Alright. So, in Windows Vista and 7, system protection. Yeah, because then you go into system properties. Type start and then restore. It's still in system properties and system protection. And then in Windows XP, start all programs, accessories, system tools, system restore. So the other option we were getting stuck on, that one was for XP. So system protection tab of system properties. So what does Q and video resolution names such as QXGA refer to? Okay, so it's quad, but it's not that both the horizontal and the vertical components of the resolution have been quadrupled. It's that both the horizontal and vertical components of the resolution have been doubled. So the horizontal has been doubled, the vertical has been doubled, which altogether quadruples it. So go with that one. In Windows, a deleted file can be retrieved using which of the following? So when you delete a file, if you don't do a shift delete, then it's a recycle bin. What part of a laser printer supplies the voltages for charging and transferring Corona? So which, in other words, what powers the laser printer charging Corona? So it'd be the high voltage power supply, right? So now that gets me to thinking, is there more than one power supply? Laser printer power supply. Cause see, I'm thinking, is there like a HVPS for the Corona and then like a power supply for the rest of the printer, you know? Okay. Let me just ask Google, right? Does a nope. Have two power supplies. See if there's an image that shows. My curiosity is going to cause this to take a while. I don't know. Which of the following interfaces allows audio to be sent over the same cabling infrastructure as video? Okay, so DVI and VGA are out of the question because those are only putting out digital video and analog video. Composite does put out audio and video, but it's separate cabling. HDMI is the only cable that does all of them in one. There you go, level 2. These first 4 are pretty simple. Then the questions start getting harder as you go, and then there's more questions as you see. So, how much data can a micro SDXC memory card hold? So, 2 terabytes for SDXC, and then I'm trying to memorize the other ones too without seeing them. So, the SDHC, I believe that one can go up to 256. and then SD can do up to 4. Oh wow, okay, 32. Alright, so SDXC can do 2 terabytes, SDHC can do up to 32, and standard was 4. Okay. You want to ensure that the computer receives automatic updates to Windows and other Microsoft products, which will take care of this for you. So, automatic updates to all this stuff, right? If you've dealt with Windows, it's always Windows Update. What is the maximum amount of RAM supported in the 64-bit Ultimate Edition of Windows Vista? So that would be 128. Remember, it was 192 for Windows 7. And then the rest of them are the same, I want to say. Windows 7 Home Premium, I think, was 16 as well. If it wasn't, it was like 32. I want to say it was 30. No. Damn. I need to remember that. But, and then I knew Starter was 2. Alright, so apps for Android-based smartphones and tablets can be downloaded from what? Google Play, the Play Store. iOS is from the App Store. What of the following protocols uses TCP port 23? So that's Telnet. So what are the other ones? SSH is 22. DNS is 53. FTP is 20 and 21. Hey, good job. Alright, what Ethernet specification would you be running if you need to make a connection of 10 gigabits per second over a distance of 5 kilometers? So this one I know is extended range. You can think of these two as short range, SR and LR. And then I forget what the T one was, but I'm gonna go over connections. I have that in my notes, I believe. Yeah, fiber speeds and types. I have that in my notes to go over. So, a T designation in an Ethernet standard refers to twisted pair. Okay. So that would be like Ethernet. SR and LR are fiber standards that do not stretch for 5 kilometers. So, 10 Gbase ER is for over 5. SR and LR is under 5. T is twisted pair. Oh, there's also an EW. Okay. Your office is moving from one floor of a building to another, and you are part of the moving crew. When moving computer equipment, which of the following are good procedures to follow? Ensure that there are no safety hazards in the path. You don't want to trip. And use a cart for heavy objects. Yes. Let's look at the other ones. Carry monitors with glass face away from your body. No. You want to put that against your body to avoid it getting damaged. Lift by bending over the waist. Never. You always want to lift with your legs. So use cart for heavy objects would be the second one. Which of the following can be used to configure a remote connection? It is MSTSC. I want to say it's Microsoft Terminal software configuration. I looked it up last time. Where is it? Stands for Microsoft Terminal Services Client. Okay. So Microsoft Terminal Services Client. Okay. You suspect a faulty network card on a client machine. What tool can you use to test your hypothesis? So you think that the network card is faulty, you want to use a loopback plug. Cable tester, it's not a cable that's going back. It's not a cable that's going bad. It's the actual network card. A toner probe, that's for finding a cable. Wireless locator, is that even a thing? I mean, Isn't every like device that picks up a Wi-Fi signal a wireless locator? Yeah, I think that's just a made-up thing on here. Okay. Look back, plug. Let's see. Wireless locators find wireless network signals. I mean, any device that has wireless and it would be a wireless locator, right? Is there like legitimately a like these? Huh. I don't know. Let's go to the next one. While working on a user system, you discover a sticky note attached to the bottom of the keyboard that has their username and password written on it. The user is not around, and you need to verify that the network connection is working. What do? Log in and verify access, log out. Log in and change the user's password. Log in and stay logged in when you are finished. No, you don't want to stay logged in. That'll someone else can mess with their stuff. You don't want to change the password. And then you also don't want to go in without their permission. You want to let them know that you're going to start working on it. So you should page the user to let them know that you need to verify access. You also should tell them that you saw a sticky note and change their password, and not to write it down. Logging into the system with the information you found would be violating privacy. Yeah, so that's another part. Alright, which of the following are page description languages? So page description languages is what the printer uses, a printer uses to convert your documents into something that it can understand and print out, right? So printer control language is one of them, and then the other one is PostScript. There are page description languages. There is no PDL or PageScript. It's PostScript and the printer control language, PCL. There have recently been a string of hardware thefts, so people are stealing hardware in the office building. What should you recommend that the users implement to help avoid the problem? Use screensaver lock. That'll protect the software. Use a cable lock that could protect the hardware. Using a docking station, they could just pull it right off the docking station. Enables GPS tracking. I mean, that'll help to find it, but it won't prevent them from stealing it, so it's a cable lock. Which tool can evaluate your current system and determine if it can be upgraded to Windows 8? So that's the Windows Upgrade Assistant. Now that gets me to thinking, all Windows Upgrade Assistant. Alright, so I guess we'll go with XP, see what that one's called. Okay, so it was an advisor before. So what was it called? So it was an advisor for XP and Vista, and then it turned into an assistant, Windows Upgrade Assistant, when going up to Windows 8. Okay. XP Vista 7. No, well, XP and Vista, it was a agent, and then it went up to, oh wait, it was an advisor, and then it went to assistant for Windows 7 going into 8. Right? Yeah, Windows 7 Upgrade Assistant. Okay. Which of the following broadcast technologies provides two dedicated data channels that can be combined for greater throughput? So I know it's BRISDN, but like I don't, digital data channels? I'm gonna put this in my notes. So broadband tech / digital data channels. So I know it's BRI-ISDN just because I've done it before, and like it tells you what the rates are and all that, but I mean digital data channels. So it's all to do with data transmission. Okay. I mean, it's something I'm gonna have to just look into individually, like two dedicated digital channels. So it says DSL cable and satellite do not offer multiple dedicated digital channels. So let me look that up. Multiple dedicated digital channels. Let me add broadband there. One second, y'all. Okay. Turn this down a little bit. Alright, we should be good now. So broadband multiple dedicated digital channels. I'm just gonna take it for what it is. So let's look up what a ISDN is then. So integrated services digital network is a set of, okay, let's read it. Is a set of communication standards for simultaneous digital transmissions of voice, video, data, and other networking service over traditional circuits. It was first defined in 1988 with CCI-TT Red Book. Prior to ISDN, telephone system was viewed as a way to transport voice, with some special services available for data. The key feature of ISDN is that it integrates speech and data on the same lines, adding features that were not available in the classic telephone system. The ISDN standards define several kinds of access interfaces, such as BRI, Basic Rate Interface, and PRI, Primary Rate Interface. Okay, so it says that Basic rate interface ISDN provides two separate 64 kilobit B channels, and the primary uses 23 B channels. Okay, so like if we go down to BRI, the entry level interface to ISDN is the BRI, delivered over a pair of standard telephone copper wires. The 144 kilobit payload rate is broken down into 64 kilobit bearer channels, or sometimes referred to as 2B plus D. The U interface is a 2-wire interface. BRI ISDN is very popular in Europe, but is much less common in North America. It is also common in Japan. Okay, so PRI, the other ISDN access available is a primary interface, which is carried over E1. In most parts of the world, E1 is 30 B channels of 64 kilobit and 1 D channel of 64 kilobit, and a timing and alarm channel of. Okay, so it is really 30 channels. But this one's a PRI has 23 B channels and 1 D channel. Okay. A PRI is T1, hey, okay, that's something I'm familiar with. PRI uses out of band signaling, which provides 23 B channels. Okay, so which of the following broadband technologies provides two dedicated digital data channels that can be combined for greater? Okay. So if the question was like, which of the following broadband technologies provides 30 data channels, and it would be PRI. But this one's just saying, so it's not specifically saying that BRI is better because it's combining them. It's just saying that it can do it. Okay. Yeah, because on PRI, yeah, see, it uses 24 channels to 64, so like PRI is obviously, it can carry a lot more. You know, see right here. And then BRI uses 128 in total. Okay. Cool. I'm learning. Good deal. Which of the following is the name of the protocol used to transmit data in NFC peer-to-peer mode? Is the name of the protocol used to transmit data in NFC peer? Oh, SNEP. Simple NDEF Exchange Protocol. It's based on LLCP. So that's the protocol used to. Okay. Really don't want to look more into it because then I'll just confuse myself, I feel. But I just remember it because of the name SNEP, NFC and SNEP. So which Linux command, level 4 now, which Linux command can be used to let you run a single command as another user? So single command. So ifconfig, that's to see your configuration for your network configuration. SU would do it for a whole session. Sudo would be the one that does it for a single command. And password, let me look that one up because it's gonna bother me. I want to say that it's not for what it looks like. PASSWD Linux command. Okay, so it is to change your password. Okay. But this one is sudo. Which type of input device employs roughly the same connector as the original AT keyboard? So I always remember this just visually, an AT keyboard. Whenever it says like original AT keyboard or like the old keyboards, it's like the circular connector and it looks just like the MIDI. MIDI use a 5-pin DIN connector similar to the one used with the original AT. What are the output voltages that have been commonly produced by PC power supplies over the years? So the numbers you got to memorize here are 3, 5, and 12. For 3, the only one that it is a positive 3.3 VDC. For 5 and 12, it's both positive and negative. So those are the positive 5 and 12. And then you got your negative 12 and your negative 5. What can you use to convert video to a format that can be uploaded to the internet, among other things? So a barcode reader is to read barcodes, so that's not going to convert the video. A video capture card could convert the video. A TV tuner card will be converting the signals from the air to video on the computer, so it's not actually converting the video. And then a MIDI device is just giving out signals to the computer, so it'd be a video capture card. Although many TV tuner cards provide this functionality, it is their video capture component that gives them this ability. So it could do it, but the TV tuner card itself is actually capturing the signal. Any adapter that is strictly a TV tuner cannot capture video. Yeah, because it's kind of just converting it. You are configuring 2 email servers on your company's network. Which network protocol do the servers use to transfer mail to each other? So you're configuring 2 email servers on your company's network. Okay. Which network protocol do the servers use to transfer mail? Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. So the Simple Mail Transfer Protocol is used to transfer email between servers. Okay, so this makes me wonder, is there a protocol to transfer between clients? Client Mail Transfer Protocol. LMTP? Is it really? It's a derivative of ESMTP, the extension of Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. LMTP is designed as an alternative to the normal SMTP for situations where the receiving side does not have a mail queue, such as mail storage server. Mail queues are an inherent requisite of SMTP in situations, and mail queues are not possible. LMTP is desirable since mail storage server could manage only its mail store without having LMTP is not intended for use with WANs. In other words, MTA, message transfer agent, still handles the outgoing mail, including the mail stream from. Okay. The key difference is that LMTP will reject the message if it's not immediately deliverable to its final destination. This removes the need for a mail queue. For this reason, LMTP is not run on standard TCP port of SMTP. Okay, well that gives me somewhat of an answer. At the end of the day, you finish a job only to find that the user you were doing it for had to leave. What should you do? So you finished the job and they left. You have 2 things that you have to choose. Clean up and leave no evidence that you were there. You don't want to not leave any evidence that you were there. Leave a note for the user detailing what was done and how to contact you. Yes. Put the system back to its original state. You don't want to undo what you did. Notify the user's manager and your own manager that you have finished. Always, if the manager thing is there, like almost always, you just notify them with these kind of questions. I think CompTIA A+ just loves to notify managers. Which of the following is the name of the graphical interface included with Windows Vista? Aero. It is Aero because it's Aero. Remote computers and virtual machines are made available with Windows 7 using which port? 3389. Because it is what it is. Oh, excuse me. Which of the following is not a consideration when installing an internal storage device? Okay, so what's something you don't consider when you're installing a new storage device internally? You should secure the drive with at least 2 screws on one side and preferably 2 on each side. That is something, so no. You should match the factor of the drive to adapt it to an available drive bay or slot. That is another consideration, so no. You need to be sure that the routing of the driver's ribbon cable, if applicable, does not obstruct the engineered flow of the air across the internal components. Yes. So, due to the high revolutions at which modern hard drives spin, you must secure an external power source because the internal power supply does not have the capacity. So that is not something you consider when installing an internal storage device, right? Because you don't have to consider that because, I mean, that's not even true. Which of the following statements about configuring email access on a mobile device is true? 1 second. Okay, so which of the following statements about configuring email access on a mobile device is true? Most ports used for access on unit. So I know it's the TCP ports used for configuring access are usually the standard port numbers. Let's see what the other ones are. You must download third-party apps for connecting to email services. Not necessarily. Most internet mail services offer an exchange option. Not all of them. Not most of them. It's this one. So you have 4 AA alkaline batteries that you just removed from a remote control device. What is a recommended way to dispose of these? Recommended, right? We all throw them in the trash, but none of us flush them out of the toilet, or we shouldn't. That's bad. Like, throwing them in the trash is bad, but like down the toilet, man, I drink that. Incinerate them, no. You don't want to catch them on fire, that's dangerous. Take them to a recycling center is what you should do. One of the vice presidents of the company calls a meeting with the information technology department after the recent trip to competitor sites. She reports that many of the companies she visited granted access to their buildings only after fingerprint scans, and she wants similar tech employed at the company. Of the following, which technology relies on a physical attribute of the user for authentication? Biometrics. Anything physical? It's biometrics. Your work environment has been usually dry lately, and several components have damage by ESD, electrostatic discharge. Your team has been asked to be extra careful about the ESD damage. Which of the following measures can be implemented to reduce the risk of electrostatic discharge? So, an anti-static bag would help. Shuffling your feet would cause more electrostatic. Using the wrist strap would help. Anti-static hairnet. Let me look that up. I don't even think that's a thing. I figured, maybe. Huh. It's interesting how it's like Alibaba, it's everything overseas only, where everything's manufactured. I mean, they look just like standard hair nets, which, I mean, what else would they look like, right? But let's see if they're actually... I mean, if nothing's rubbing across the hair. I mean, it shouldn't be... Wow, I guess it is. What's it made out of? Anti-static, long-wearing, comfortable. Excellent to dissipate body heat against splatter of. So it's just like, it's nylon. Alright. Well, that's interesting. I mean, I don't think many people use them though. Like, how many times do you have to use your hair? I mean, your hair should be tied back anyways. So the second one is a wrist strap on this one. You believe that your system files are corrupted in Windows. You run System File Checker. What do you do to make System File Checker automatically repair your system files if repair is needed? So System File Checker would be the command run on run, and then Scan Now would actually scan it and repair. Repair isn't even one. All these are not any of the SFC commands, if I remember correctly. Command. Maybe revert? No, it's not. I highly doubt it is. This one doesn't show more. Yeah, so Scan Now, the verify only verifies it, doesn't repair. Scan File repairs a file if problems are. Scans integrity. Okay, so Scan File is one file and repairs it. Verify file. So if it's verify, it just verifies it. Verify only is for all of the system protected files. Verify file. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so like all the other ones aren't even, there's no such thing as a straight up repair thing. It's Scan Now for all of them. Okay, so what is a minimum amount of free hard drive space recommended for the installation of Windows Home Vista Basic? 15. What port does RDP protocol work on? So that's the remote desktop protocol, right? 3389. Nope. You have been asked to set up client-side virtualization on a computer at work. The manager asked for a Type 2 hypervisor. What is the disadvantage of using that? Okay, Type 1, Type 2. Type 1 hypervisor would be like Hyper-V, right? You install that onto the hardware. So it would be, the process would be similar to you installing Windows or something. Not really, but after you install it, you actually get a command prompt. So there's no GUI. It's just a straight up command prompt because you don't want to use any of the resources for the actual hypervisor on a Type 1. So Type 2, you're going to be installing, for example, Windows Server 2008 or something. You'll install that onto the actual server through the hard drive and everything. The other one's through a hard drive too, but you install it like a normal server installation, and then afterwards you would install Hyper-V in that Windows server, and then within that Hyper-V, which is on a running Windows 2008 server OS, you would install virtual machines, which Windows 2008 server OS needs resources to run. So you'll need the hard drive space, the normal hard drive space, the normal RAM and CPU usage. So you're competing for those resources. Whereas with the hypervisor type 1, you're installing it on the actual hardware. So it's not needing, because it's just running that command prompt. So all you would be needing is minimal resources. So what is the disadvantage of using a type 2 hypervisor is that you're competing for all those resources. So the guest OS, which would be the virtual machines that are going to be installed on there, they're going to be competing for the resources with the host OS, which in my example would be server Windows 2008 OS, right? Let's look at the other ones though. The guest OS will be forced to use less RAM than the host OS. So not necessarily. I mean, as long as like if you have like 8 gigs of RAM and the host OS is using like 2, I mean the guest OS could use the rest of it. The virtual guest OS will not be able to get on the physical network. No, it would still be able to get on the physical network. It'd actually be using that. The guest OS will be forced to a lower priority with the CPU than the host OS. Not necessarily. It's all configurable. So yeah, the guest OS will compete for resources. That's the disadvantages of using a Type 2. You could read it there if you like. Pause it for a second. Alright. Which printer part gets the toner from the photosensitive drum onto the paper? That would be the Corona assembly, right? Because you're developing it on the photosensitive drum, and then this Corona assembly actually because I don't think there's such thing as a fusing assembly. I think that's what they call the Corona assembly, right? So gets the part of the toner from the photosensitive. So this is the developing phase. Or no, this is the transferring. Oh man, I feel like I might get this one wrong. Okay, so it's been exposed to the drum, developing. So the surface of okay, then what's a Corona? Dude, this, I always think of like the beer with this, and it's really throwing me off. Alright, so the Corona wire positioned parallel to the drum in more recent printers. A primary charge roller protects an electrostatic charge onto the phone. Oh. Okay, so the Corona wire is what handles the charging step of it. Okay, so it is a fusing assembly. What? The transfer Corona assembly gets the toner from the photosensitive drum onto the paper. For printers, this is okay. I really need to study this, because this is just pathetic that I haven't gotten it after all this time that I've dealt with them. So laser printing process is on my notes now, because that's really annoying. I should know this. Okay, in older printers, why is it talking about older printers? Alright, well, it's in my notes. I'll come back. Alright, so now I'm reviewing. At the end of the day, you finish a job only to find that the user you were doing it for had to leave. What do you do? So this one was, you leave a note, let them know what you did, and then you notify the user's manager and then your own manager. So which printer part gets the toner from the photosensitive drum onto the paper? So it's obviously Corona assembly. Man. You work in an environment that has been unusually dry lately, and several components have been damaged by electrostatic discharge. Your team has been asked to be extra careful about ESC damage. Which of the following measures can be implemented to reduce the risk? So you use the anti-static wrist strap and anti-static bags for components. Which printer part gets the toner from the photosensitive drum onto the paper? So from the drum to the paper, it's the Corona assembly. I don't know, man. I still feel that's wrong. Corona assembly. Yo. What the heck? We were just on level 4, right? Yeah, we were just on level 4. Okay. Sorry, the software messed up there. What is it? I'm using a side sync on the Galaxy S8. That was weird. So assembly. Man, I'll just deal with that later. Let's go to the next one. What is the minimum amount of memory recommended for a 32-bit installation of Windows 8.1? That would be 1 gig. And 2 gigs for 64-bit. Right? Windows 8, 1 gig. Windows 8 didn't actually... It got more efficient. You didn't need all that RAM. A junior administrator comes to you in a panic after looking at the log files. He has become convinced that an attacker is attempting to use a duplicate IP address to replace... Oh my gosh, let's read that again. He has become convinced that an attacker is attempting to use a duplicate IP address to replace another system in the network to gain access. Which type of attack is this? So, it's not a backdoor attack, because they're not attacking a specific piece of software or something like that, right? It's not a worm because it's not replicating itself and spreading itself. So it either is a spoof or a TCP IP hijacking, right? So the key thing is here that it's trying to duplicate the IP address to replace another system in the network. So I read up on this previously, and TCP IP hijacking would actually replace that IP address, whereas with spoofing, it's not actually trying to take the session, it's just trying to, I guess, mask it. So let me look that up, right? So spoofing versus what was the other one? Hijacking. Okay. So in a spoofing attack, the valid user may still be active, right? So it's still active. He's not taking it away. But the attacker will utilize that user's identity and or data. So the valid user session is not interrupted. Now, where a hijacking attack occurs, that hacker steals a session and takes over the session without disconnecting the valid user. What? Oh, okay. Those questions. Oh, whoops. Okay. Alright, so essentially it's like spoofing. It doesn't take the session away. It just uses that identity, whereas with hijacking it actually tries to take it away. So in this question it says it's replacing another system. If it was a spoof, it would say it's trying to imitate or look like it's another system, or it would say something along the lines as there's like 2 connections for the same session or something. That's how I understand it. Alright, so of the following voltage pairings, which one accurately represents the input and output respectively of power supplies and AC adapters? So how is the voltage running, right? The pressure. Which one accurately represents the input and output? So how is the power running through a AC adapter, right? So the power coming out of the wall is alternating. You know, it's on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, right? And then the components need a constant flow. Oh, sorry. I mean, it's not on, off, on, off, on, off with AC. It's just a wave. It's going up and down, up and down. And these components that are in PCs need a steady, direct stream of power, right? It can't have this up, down, right? It can't, because then you'll see it dimming and all this other. It needs a nice direct current. So AC, alternating current, is coming in from the wall, and then it's pushing out direct current. That's how I understand it. Hopefully that helps you. Which of the following results can occur with improper display settings? The graphics adapter automatically chooses to use the highest supported resolution. Okay, so which of the following results can occur with improper display settings? So if you don't put the display settings right, what could happen? I mean, graphics adapters will do whatever you choose, so it's not choosing it. If it does have an option to choose, I'll just do a default. You might have to scroll to see parts of the desktop. That could happen. The computer spontaneously reboots. That's like a really, really bad driver or install. The mouse cursor changes or permanently disappears. That's actually a setting that you would have to do, but it wouldn't occur with improper display settings. It'd be like improper cursor settings or mouse settings. So you have to scroll. That's what happens if the resolution was improperly set. You could read that if you like there. To open System Restore, click Start, All Programs, Accessories, then what? So you're doing a System Restore. Remember, it was a System Settings and then System Tools, right? So it should be System Tools, Accessories, System Tools, System Restore. When configuring a DNS server, which of the following must be created by the administrator? A host file, a zone file, a DNS proxy, or a scope file. So for you to actually use that DNS server, Excuse me. You have to have a zone file, and I believe it describes what it is, but just in case it doesn't, or sorry, a DNS server. Uh-oh. Okay, never mind. Scope file is for DHCP. Okay, so scope file is, I was thinking there for a second. Scope file is for DHCP. Host file would be on your local computer. And zone file would be for your DNS server. So DNS server records are contained by the zone file, which must be configured by administrators. A host file is an alternative to using the DNS, but that does not work well when scaling to the internet, so that's why it's more local. A scope is created on DHCP servers. So a DNS proxy, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a configuration, right? Yeah. So a smart DNS proxy server is a DNS server that has been configured to direct clients to a transparent proxy server for a subnet of specific internet sites, usually for the purpose of allowing access to content on those sites that would otherwise be restricted due to geo-blocking. So it's a proxy server, but that's something you have to configure. Cool. Which of the following devices work at layer 2 of the OSI model? Oh man. OSI model. I'm gonna admit it. That's something I'm gonna have to dedicate probably a whole day and a half to. For some reason, it just doesn't stick with me. Let's see. What's the first one? I think this one's data link or something, right? Because the next one is network, I think. Network would be the router. So I'm gonna say switch and bridge. Yeah. Okay. I somewhat remember it. So bridges and switches are layer 2 devices. Hubs work at layer 1 and routers work at layer 3. Note that some switches are called multi-layer switches. They work at layer 3 as well. So let's do a OSI model. And we see here, okay, so I was right, data link, and then 3 was network. Okay, alright, not bad. So reliable transmission of data frames between 2 nodes connected by a physical layer. So what's a physical layer? Physical layer is the protocol data unit is bits, which is the transmission and reception of raw streams over a physical medium. What are some examples? So okay, so it'd be like the hubs, the cabling and repeaters, stuff that don't actually care about the data. Data link is caring about the data a little bit more. So you'll have, let's see here. What are some examples? So I think what I have to find for this is, for it to stick for me, I'm gonna have to find the OSI model that actually gives examples for like everything of what it could possibly be. I'm gonna have to do that. Okay, we'll do that later. Spencer has dug out from the closet a legacy machine that is running Windows XP Professional. Since it is no longer supported, he wants to upgrade it to Windows Vista. Which of the following upgrades are possible? So he's going from Windows XP Professional. Professional can go over to Windows Vista. Choose 2. All right, so it could go over to Windows Business, and ultimate. Yeah. So you are setting up a wireless network. Which wireless standard would give the users over 40 megabits per second? Right? So choose 3. So there's 4 options, so there's only one that can't support 40 megabits or over. And I remember from a past question that 802.11b can do up to 11. So that would mean AC definitely, that's like the new standard. That can support like gigabit. N is obvious too, because that one supports like hundreds of megabit. And 802.11g. So as you see, this one supports 1300 megabits, which would be 1.3 gigabit. I believe that's right. 802.11g supports 54 megabits per second, and then 802.11n supports 600 megabits per second. Which utility is shown in the figure? One of the utilities available in Windows 7. So this is a utility in Windows 7. What is it? Do you want to ask or offer help? Blank connects 2 computers so that one person can help troubleshoot or fix the problems on the other person's computer. So that would actually be remote assistance, right? Remote control, I mean, that you can remote control it, but this is actually showing remote assistance. The portions of the utility that show its name has been okay. The workstations on your network are configured to use a DHCP server. One of the workstations can't communicate with the other computers. Its IP address is 169. Okay, so once you see 169, that's an APIPA address, right? Or you should start considering that it's an APIPA address. So what could be the problem? So they're configured on a DHCP server. One of them is not getting an APIPA address, or one of them is not getting an IP address. So why can't it communicate with the DHCP server, right? So what tells it what DHCP server it is would be the default gateway. So the default gateway has to be wrong. So it's not that it has an IP address. That's not why it can't communicate with the other. It's not that the subnet mask is wrong necessarily. It can't reach the DHCP server. Well, yeah, I mean it can't reach it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the default gateway is wrong, right? So I'm gonna go with this one. The address assigned to the computers and a APIPA address. Microsoft client computers and others will configure themselves with an address in this range if they are unable to reach a DHCP server. Okay, I feel really stupid Googling this, but I'm doubting myself. I'm gonna see what the default gateway is. So default gateway serves as an access point or IP router that a network computer uses to send. So this is actually like connecting it to it's a node that is assumed to know how to forward packets to other networks. Yeah, so this is like, yeah, alright. Man, I feel stupid. I'm rusty, man. I mean, I haven't done this in like over half a year. Like daily, you know? I mean, it's clicking now, but I just feel really stupid having to look it up. But hey, let's be humble. So in a small home office, that's like your router. Okay, so the default gateway would be connecting you. You have to configure that so it can communicate with the router. But then the router or whatever has a DHCP server within it. So that DHCP server is what gives it the IP address, and since your IP address is 169 whatever, then there's something wrong with the DHCP server communicating with you. Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily mean that like it's your default gateway. Okay. What does the red stripe on the ribbon cable indicate? That would be pin 1. It's just, it is what it is. You press the front power button on a computer and the system boots. Later, you press it briefly and the system hibernates. When you press it again, the system resumes. You press and hold the button and the system shuts down. What is this feature called? I thought it was called programmable power when I first did it. It's actually called soft power. I don't even know if the other ones are true. So let's Google them, because then I will be doubting. So, programmable power. Let's do power switch. For let's see. Let's put a computer here just to specify. What's up, new viewer? How you doing out there? Welcome to the stream. We're working on CompTIA A+. Hopefully you find it useful. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you learned anything. Let's see. Okay, so programmable power computer. I'm trying to find the right key of So a programmable power supply is an electronic device that... Oh. Yeah, this is one of those power supplies that you can control like the output for like multiple devices. Oh, okay. So it's an actual power supply. So I'm guessing that like programmable power is it's obviously used to throw you off and select it because it's like an easy answer and you think it's going to be obvious, but it's not. Okay, so let's do hot power then. During a routine hard drive replacement, you have discovered prohibited material on a user's laptop computer. What 2 things should you do first? Destroy the prohibited material, report the prohibited material through the proper channels. If there's always an option to report on CompTIA to your manager, to whatever, CompTIA always says to snitch or to report. It's not really snitching, right? But always do your job and report it. So confront the user about the material. You never want to confront an actual user about an issue like this or whatever. Confiscate and preserve the prohibited material. Yeah, you want to do that. You know, you don't want to destroy the evidence or whatever. So we want to preserve it. Then always report. Which of the following is a concept that applies only to conventional magnet hard disk drives and not the new solid state drives? So what's something that a hard disk drive does that a solid state doesn't? Pretty sure solid state drives don't revolve. Both of them can have an external attachment. Both of them are have storage capacities. Access time is measured on both of them, so it'd be 7200 RPM. Which of the following numbers of pins that can be found on dual inline memory modules used in desktop computers? So which of the following are numbers of pins that can be found on DIMM modules? It's another one, you know, it's one of those little things, like when you have to know the little details, whether it's speed of anything, any component, whether it's the number of pins, all these little things are what get me. And there's no other option other than memorization of them. And there's just so many things to memorize that it makes me feel like I can't do it or whatever. So I still have to do it though, obviously, but just kind of expressing what issue I have with this. So dual inline memory modules. Alright, my gut is saying 240, choose 2, right, and 180. So I was halfway right. Okay, so the way I can memorize this is, my gut always tells me 240. So the way I can memorize it is 240, take the 4, 184. Right? And I'm not even going to bother to read this because it's just going to confuse me more. It's something I need to study. Alright. Which of the following is different from a virus in that it can reproduce itself? It's self-contained and it doesn't need a host application to be transported. Different from a virus, that it can reproduce itself. So once it's like similar to a virus, even though it says it's different from a virus, okay, let me rephrase that. Once it says it can reproduce itself, you always should think of worm. It's self-contained and it doesn't need a host application to be transported. So another thing is it can reproduce and it self-replicates. That's a worm. When you're in a hurry to pack everything up and you head to the airport. Uh-oh. Where's my music, man? There we go. Alright, when you're in a hurry to pack everything up and you head to the airport after a presentation using a video projector, which of the following should you avoid doing immediately? So what don't you do with the video projector? Unplug the projector's video cable from your laptop, you could do that. Powering down the projector, that's what you should do. Turning off your laptop, no problem doing that. Unplugging the projector's power cable, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that it cools down by powering it down properly. Alright, it could mess up the bulb. Which of the following best describes the concept of tethering? When a Wi-Fi device uses another device's Bluetooth? No. When a Wi-Fi device uses another device's cellular connection so they can get on the internet? Yeah. When a cellular device uses another Wi-Fi connection to get on the internet? Ooh, okay. Is that technically tethering? So that's like your cell phone connecting to your home Wi-Fi, right? You're technically tethered to it. But does it best describe it? No, because like when you're thinking of tethering, you're thinking of like hotspot, right? So, I mean, that could be a close number too. When a Bluetooth device uses another device's Wi-Fi connection to get on the internet. No, normally whenever you have a device with a Wi-Fi connection, the Wi-Fi device is already taking up that, what am I trying to say, that hardware, right? The Wi-Fi hardware. So it's not going to be able to transmit, receive data, and then retransmit it. So it would be when a Wi-Fi device uses another one's cellular, like a hotspot, right? You arrive at the site of a failed server to find the vice president nervously pacing, and you worry and worrying about the lost data, what should you do? Keep your head down and keep looking at the manuals to let them know you're serious. No, that would just kind of put him more nervous, going, okay, does he know what he's doing? He's just sitting, he's trying to get it fixed, but he hasn't said anything, right? You gotta put yourself in their shoes. Downplay the situation and tell them that the customers lose data every day. You don't want to say that, man. He's already worried that they're gonna lose it, and then for him to go, oh, they're gonna lose it now and they've been losing it? No. Inform him that you've dealt with similar situations, and you'll let him know what needs to be done as soon as possible. So what are you doing here? So you're letting him know, hey, I've done this before. That's like you telling him, hey, chill out, man. And then you will let him know what needs to be done as soon as possible. So that's in response to when you tell him to chill out, he'd be like, how can I chill out? You know, how do I know something's going to be done? Well, you'll let him know what needs to be done as soon as possible. So you're telling him, chill out. I've done this before. It's cool. I'll let you know what needs to be done. I'll keep you in the loop. Offer a joke to lighten things up. He's already freaking out. You know, he might take that joke, he might not take that joke right. It's that one. Which utility is shown in the figure? One of the utilities available in Windows 7. So this is in Windows 7, and it's saying do even more with your PC. In as few as 10 minutes, you can add new features to Windows 7. You can do more with your PC. It's easy, quick, blah, blah, blah. How do you want to begin? Go online and choose the edition of Windows 7 that is best for you. Enter an upgrade key. Okay, so it looks like it's wanting you to upgrade to Windows 7. So what is that called? It's not the state mover or the easy transfer, because those are for like your data, I believe, like all your information. It's like a backup. I believe it's Windows Anytime Upgrade. Windows Edition Roller. I've actually never heard of that. It's probably made up. Windows Edition Roller. What do you know? It is totally made up. Yep. So let's look up the other ones. I know it's Windows Anytime Upgrade. I just want to learn what these other things are, if they're real or not, so I don't have them in the mind. So I've heard of a easy transfer. Yeah. So it transferring your selected files folder, so it helps you transfer that. And I'm pretty sure like the state mover is like an image of your actual entire hard drive or whatever, if it's real. But is it called state mover? I'm gonna put Microsoft in front of it. Microsoft, because it's talking about moving companies and stuff. Yeah, see, so create a restore of a system state, but I don't think it's called. Okay, so it's USMT, the user state migration tool. So it's missing words there. Oh, they're getting tricky. Okay, so those aren't anything. So Windows Anytime Upgrade is what it is, and that's in a control panel. Which of the following are used to prevent pop-unders from appearing? So let me get the exact, because I know what a pop-up is, but let me get the exact definition of what it is. So a variation of a pop-up window is a pop-under advertisement, which opens a new browser window hidden under the active window. Ah, okay. So they don't interrupt the users from media. So those are like those pop-ups that obviously pop up behind your current browser, and then you start hearing voices, or you start hearing like some kind of media playing. Yeah, so that's what those are. Yeah, so it's a pop-up. It's just it doesn't stay up. It has an extra line of code or something for it to go back. Yeah. So what would prevent the pop-unders from appearing, right? So if it's essentially the same as a pop-up window, it's just behind instead of the front, it would be a pop-up blocker. You know, pop-up, it's a form of malware, but you don't really, an antivirus software wouldn't control that. A phishing site is a site that would actually try to take your information, and it wouldn't prevent that pop-up from appearing. It's its own thing. Anti-malware utilities, I think some of them have it built in. Anti-malware software. Let's do that with the pop-up blocker. Let's see. With pop-up blocker, let's go that way. Okay. I'm sure, I mean, I honestly haven't used a antivirus software other than like the pre-installed Microsoft Security, right, in a long time. And I do want to say that I might have seen a pop-up blocker within an antivirus software, but it's not really coming up. Like, let's say let's go with some of the popular ones, right? So let's go with Malwarebytes. And let's just look at it and see if they have software that that has it built in, right? So even up to their premium one, it has anti-malware, anti-spyware, anti-rootkit, malicious website protection. So that would be for the phishing sites, anti-ransomware, anti-exploit. That's actually really cool. Anti-exploit, shields vulnerable system software from exploit. Okay. So, I mean, it's anti-malware. Yeah, and it protects you from the sites, but not necessarily the pop-ups and stuff, right? How much is there? Because if it has like, oh, so they have monthly subscriptions. Oh, $40 for a year. It's actually not bad. Okay, getting a little off topic, right? What's another one? Norton. Okay, so this one's like anti-malware and spyware, right? So, products. So let's go with their premium. Let's see the top of the line, right? Protects your identity, free antivirus, easy to use WebPortal, virus, spyware, malware, online threats. So it talks about all these threats, but not necessarily about the pop-ups and stuff, right? So pop-up blockers, a thing of their own. I wonder if there's like a like an actual software you would install on Windows, because it's always built into a lot of web browsers. Wow, blanked out there for a second. All right. Add Muncher. Okay, so there's actual software that blocks it. This website's way too slow. Alright, so sorry for going a little off topic, but I want to learn if any of these other things might have a possibility of it being it, and if not, then it just kind of sets in stone my opinion on this answer, you know. So now I know without a doubt it's a pop-up blocker. Which of the following switches can be used with robocopy to mirror a complete directory tree? So which of the following switches can be used with robocopy to mirror a complete directory tree? Remember this one's MIR because it looks like mirror. So there you go. Which two TCP/IP protocols work at the host-to-host layer of the DoD model? So the DoD model, if I remember correctly, is another word for a TCP/IP model. Yeah, it's a condensed version of the OSI model. Oh, sorry, I meant OSI model. Okay, so which two TCP/IP protocols work at the host-to-host layer? Sorry, man. These are the ones that I gotta learn. And let me make sure that's on my list of to learn thing. OSI and DoD model. It's on there now. So the host, okay, I'm gonna see without even looking at on the left hand side, right? Let's see if I can get this by process of elimination. So host to host layer, what works on host to host? What are you doing in host to host? So you're not going over the internet, but you still need an IP address, and you need something to convert from a hardware address to an IP address, right? So it'd be an IP address and then ARP. And it's the complete opposite. Oh my gosh. Alright. The complete opposite of what I was thinking. Alright, so the two protocols that work on the host-to-host layer are TCP and UDP. IP and ARP both work at the internet. So I was thinking about it the complete opposite way. Alright. Shows how dumb I am and how my brain works. TCP and UDP, right? Let's freshen this up. How's it going for everyone watching? I hope you learned something on this stream. If you want to say how dumb I am, or if you have a question, or maybe want to contribute so other people learn, hop on the chat. Let's learn together. If you have watched my previous series before, you probably see I'm on level 5 again. You're like, what the heck? You've already done like 1 through 9, right? Well, good old Serge had to redo his phone again like he does all the time. And I forgot that this app doesn't back up to the cloud or anything. So I didn't do any backup of the actual app, and I had to reinstall it on a new phone. And so we had to start all over. So I had the choice of either doing it all and then just kind of hiding that I did them all over again and then just continuing from 9, or I could just go over them all again and show y'all and just put it all on one huge live stream video so y'all can see all the levels 1 through 9 on one video. And I'll still keep the other ones up for the heck of it. So that's where we're at now. And now I'm kind of learning this OSI and DoD model stuff that I just can't memorize. And right now I'm on the TCP UDP differences. So they are two types of internet protocol traffic. They're TCP, Transmission Control Protocol, and UDP, User Datagram Protocol. TCP is connection oriented. Once a connection is established, data can be sent bidirectional. UDP is simpler, connectionless internet protocol. Multiple messages are sent as packets in chunks using UDP. Yeah. So, pretty obvious here. This is stuff being sent over the network. And I got this one wrong here. Which two TCP/IP protocols work at the host-to-host layer of the DoD model? So, the host-to-host layer. Let's pop that up. Model. Da 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 da. So the host-to-host handles connection, rendezvous, flow control, retransmission of lost data, and other generic data flow management. That's what it is. So I was thinking of like network access layer. Alright. I don't know. I will get that though. I will get that eventually. I just have to study it. So which of the following devices work at layer 2 of the OSI model? So OSI level 2 is data. So it's just transmitting the data. So it'd be, it's not doing any kind of special stuff with it too. So it'd be just a bridge and a switch. A hub would be layer 1. Yeah. Which of the following are the number of pins that can be found in DIMM modules used in desktop motherboards? 240, and then you take the 4, put it with the 1, 8, boom. Really dumb way of remembering it, but that's how I'm remembering it. Which two TCP/IP protocols work at the host-to-host layer? So host-to-host, just always think of it as TCP and UDP. I mean, I know those because I know like transmissions and stuff, but like now I know that on DoD it's on the host layer. Cool. A junior administrator comes to you in a panic after looking at the log files. He has become convinced that an attacker is attempting to use a duplicate IP address to replace another system in the network to gain access. Which type of attack is this? So, trying to replace, they're hijacking. Spoof is the only one I would consider, but spoof, you're not actually taking their session. So hijack. Reviewing. Which two TCP/IP protocols work at the host-to-host layer of the DoD? TCP and UDP. That's just their home. It is what it is. Which of the following are the number of pins that can be found on DIMM modules used in desktop motherboards? 240, 184. Boom! Done. Level 5 taken up. Next is 6, so we only got 3 more to get back to where we were after this one. So let's go ahead and get it started. Let me get my Google. All right. Cool. I'll be right back. Alright. I'm back. Alright, level 6. Let's go. Your friend is concerned about the security of making an online purchase. What should you tell her to look for in the address bar? HTTPS, right? HTTP, not secure. SSH, secure. That's if you're logging into a terminal or something securely. SFTP, if you're transferring, she was transferring files, we recommend that one. So HTTPS is for on the browser, secure. Which mail protocol commonly uses TCP port 587? SMTP with TLS. So, see, I was gonna say with the only other one was SSL that I was considering, but that's a 465. Okay. These numbers are just all over the place, so I'm not 100% sure as to how I would go about memorizing these, you know? It's gonna be difficult. Which of the following are possible interfaces for printers? USB, most common. We're choosing 3 of them. PS2 is for mice and for keyboards. So 3 would be all these, right? Parallel, the old way. Network. There you go. Which of the following is not a valid reason to disable cellular data networking? Not a valid reason. Okay. Your phone calls are going out over your carrier's cellular network. Disable. No. Okay. So you're about to download an update on your phone. That is a valid reason because you don't want to use all that data up. You have access to reliable Wi-Fi signal. I mean, no, because then you can't. Yeah, that's not really a valid reason because then you can't call people. You have a limited amount of data in your monthly plan. That's a valid reason. So your phone calls are going out over your carrier's network. That's not a valid reason because that's supposed to happen. So what is not a valid reason to disable it? So it's not a valid reason. I mean, it'll get your data, but like you won't have your phone calls. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I feel so stupid. Why? Why? Your phone calls are going out. Okay, I see where they're coming from on it. Whenever you have a reliable Wi-Fi signal, which you do not have to pay for as you go, you should feel free to disable your cellular. Whatever. You have just purchased a motherboard that has an LGA 775 socket for an Intel Pentium 4 processor. More memorization stuff. What type of memory modules will you most likely need for this motherboard? DIMM. That's just for memorization. If I remember correctly, it said something along the lines of the Intel Pentium 4 is exclusively working with DIMM or something. Yeah, always mated with. You have been asked to configure a full mesh network with 7 computers. How many connections will this require? So, asked to configure a full mesh network with. Okay, this is the formula. So it'd be how many. So the formula is, okay, you first take the number of computers you're connecting, right? So that's 7. And then you subtract 1, right? So that would be 6. And then you take the number of computers again and you multiply that with that number that you got. So 6 times 7, 42. And then you divide it by 2, which would be 21. So in a mesh network, the number of connections is determined by the formula x, right, which is the number of computers, and then multiplied, that x is for multiplied, by the result of x minus 1, and then you divide that by 2. So we'll Google it for more explanation on it. So full mesh network formula. Okay, so according to the networking books, n times n minus 1 divided by 2 is where n is the number of nodes. I tried drawing out the problem, but I have really baffled. I haven't done these. Okay. think of it this way. The nodes are like vertices, endpoints of a polygon. Say there are n nodes. You're able to connect every node to every other node with line segments that. It's a lot of words. It's like going really in depth in it. The only, I mean, I get the x minus 1 because it's like you have your, like the computer you're starting with, right? And then you kind of take that out of the equation because you're wanting to figure out how many connections are going to that one computer, right? So, and then you multiply that by the number of computers. That makes sense to me. But the divided by 2, that's where I'm like, okay, why do you want to divide that by 2? Because like that's the amount of connections you're gonna make, right? You get your first computer, and then it's making a connection with all the other computers. Oh, but then you're not counting that primary computer. So then you take away half of those connections because it's something you're already, right? Yeah, so you're starting with this one and you're connecting to these other ones. So there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 connections, right? And there's a total of 4 computers, so that'd be 4 minus 1, 3, times 4, so that's 12, and then you divide it by 2 is 6, yeah. Okay, I get it. But that's the formula. Intel and AMD have integrated which of the following into their Atom and APU processor lines that had not been integrated before? A GPU. Which of the following is not a consideration when upgrading power supplies? So what do you not consider when you're upgrading your power supply? You might find that you do not have a matching motherboard connector on your new power supply. That is something you consider. You might find that your case has a non-removable power supply. I mean, that's not something that's common. So, I mean, that's something you wouldn't even have to consider because it's not even happening. You might find that you do not have enough appropriate connectors coming from the power supply. That is something you should consider. So you might find that your power rating is not adequate. So yeah, that's something you consider. So it's this one. The wording on some of these. To avoid software-based virtualization, which two components need to support hardware-based virtualization? So to avoid software-based virtualization, so that would be a what? Type 2. Which two components need to support hardware-based virtualization? So it'd be a type 1. So your CPU has to support virtualization, that's for sure. Memory and hard drive would work with either, or your BIOS has to support that virtualization as well. You are having problems with the video card in one of your computers. Where should you check for troubleshooting information? Okay, so you're having problems with your video card. Where do you check this stuff? You'd go to the manufacturer's website. Why not the others? Well, the manual that came with the card. Well, manuals aren't that common in there anymore. So if that's not there, where do you go? Manufacturer's website. Another computer with the same video card that doesn't have troubleshoot information on it. The server log. Who's to say that it's on a server? There you go. Oh, and to get more specific, server logs can show error codes, but they won't tell you how to fix anything. So a customer tells you that a technician from your company who was there on a service call spent 3 hours on the phone making personal calls. What should you do with this information? Always tell your manager. You don't tell the customer to prove it. You don't take it in. You don't confront them, and obviously you don't do nothing. You don't just tell them, "Hey, too bad." So you inform your manager. Which device in an inkjet printer contains the print head? So inkjet printer, print head. Toner cartridges for laser printers, daisy wheels for impact printers. A paper tray doesn't even have any kind of, it has paper. It doesn't do anything with the printing process. The actual printing on the paper is what I mean. The ink cartridge would have that. What should you do for a lithium-ion battery that appears to charge fully but does not last as long as the battery meter indicates that it would? Okay, so I originally thought it was just replace it, right? You don't ever short them. That's just obvious. And you don't exercise the battery. Like, I wonder if, I'm pretty sure they just made that up. I mean, thinking about it logically, I would think that they mean like exercising it is another way of saying you fully charge it, then you discharge it, you fully charge it, but that's another way of saying calibrating. So is exercise, how do you spell that? E-X-E-R size battery. How's it going, viewer? Appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully you learned something. Just going through CompTIA. Long story short, going through levels 1 through 9 again because I got a new phone and the app didn't keep the progress. So we're going through it again. Exercise, let's say laptop battery. If you have any questions or any kind of comments, hop on the chat. Let's learn together. Exercise by running it down. See, so it is. So let's do exercise versus calibrate battery. Is there a difference? It's a synonym. So let's do find and let's do calibrate. Users should calibrate the battery from time to time. Calibrate, 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 right? And then let's see how many times they say exercise. I'm just gonna copy it here because it's an image. Why do I have such a problem with spelling exercise? Maybe because you don't do it much, Serge. Shut up. Alright, so there's 3 instances. Like humans, batteries need to exercise from time to time. Is it this? It's a synonym, right? Calibrate the battery. Battery exercising is the initial charging and discharging of nickel. Oh, so it's based on nickel-based batteries, not lithium ions. So calibration is what's done on lithium ion batteries. Exercising is what's done on nickel. Okay. Got it. Which of the following types of LCD has the best performance characteristics? Passive matrix. Oh, dang it. Active. Oh, man. Totally brain farted. My bad. It's always active, yeah. Active matrix is a superior technology. Dual scan is merely an enhanced form of passive matrix, but is not on par with active matrix. Dual matrix isn't even an LCD type. So why even put it on there, man? Trying to trick me? So is dual matrix anything though? Like anything? No, it's just made up. Okay. What type of pointing device features a ball and buttons on the top and a flat, steady surface on the bottom? That'd be a trackball. Y'all have seen them, right? You have a Verizon 4G mobile phone that you want to use on a mobile hotspot. How many connections are you allowed to support simultaneously? That would be 10. 5 on 3G. Which of the following was created to allow Windows 8 to boot from flash drives? Windows to Go. I wonder if it's on Windows 10 now. Windows to Go. Windows 7 or later requirements. Let me see if it's on Windows 10 then. Alright. Cool. How does it look like? That's cool. Alright. Sorry for the silence, I was just reading. You have a mobile touchscreen device with a screen size of 11 inches. What is the most likely classification of this device? Okay. So up to 7 inches is still considered a phablet. And then 7 to 11 would be considered a tablet. GPS, not really a classification with that. Smartphone would be anything below 6 inches, I think. Yeah, phablets are between 5 and 7. Okay. So up to 5 would be a smartphone. A video editor at your company wants a second monitor, claiming that only having one monitor limits her ability to work. Why do video editing workstations benefit from more than one monitor? Once the editing is complete, the second monitor is used. No, that's a waste. Additional monitors are used for remote collaboration. No. Their software often has enough controls across their width that one monitor seems cramped. True. Which of the following graphics... While one of the graphics adapters works on one rendering project, the other can simply display a normal desktop. It's not talking about a graphics adapter in the question. So, yeah, it's this one. Which of the following protocols is responsible for resolving IP addresses to hardware addresses? So that'd be Address Resolution Protocol. DNS is for resolving domain names to IP addresses. DHCP is for, I know what it is, but it's for resolving IP addresses to... It's a... Man, it's not even... Okay, sorry, brain fart. DHCP, responsible for assigning IP addresses. It doesn't resolve them, so... There you go. Automatically configures TCP/IP. RR does the opposite. It resolves MAC addresses to IP addresses. Which GPS component is responsible for triangulation? That'd be the receiver. Satellites are what help find you. Ground control network, what is that? I'm guessing it's the towers. Yeah. GPS control segment. GPS ground segment. It's called ground segment, not control. Okay. It's consists of a global network of ground facilities that track the satellites. So that tracks the satellites. So the triangulation is controlled by the receiver. Hey, thanks, Rich. I appreciate it, man. I know I'm kind of veering off of the whole Note 3. I'm actually getting my Note 3 back, and it's just going to be a toy now. So I don't know if you've been here since my Note 3 videos or not, but I might go back with that. A lot of people still use it. It's a great phone, it really is. But I'm needing to focus on my my certification. I know all this stuff, or a majority of the stuff. I just need to freshen up on it, and I just need to get the certification to prove to myself and companies, you know. But I appreciate you, Rich Gold. Appreciate you, man. I hope you're learning some stuff from it too. I don't know if it's something that you're wanting to do as well. Let's see. Next. On which Properties tab do you select the refresh rate to use between the graphics adapter and the monitor in Windows Vista? Okay, sorry. Distracted. On which Properties tab do you select the refresh rate to use between the graphics adapter and the monitor in Windows Vista? Okay, so you're in the Properties tab, and then you select, and in that Properties tab, where can you select the refresh rate? Monitor, right? Although it's true that you must start with the Display Settings dialog box, which ironically shows a single tab labeled Monitor, and that you subsequently click on the Advanced Settings button, the Monitor Properties tab is where you select the refresh rate. Okay. Got it. A Smurf attack attempts to use a broadcast ping on network. The return address of the ping may be that of a valid system in your network. Which protocol does a Smurf attack use to conduct the attack? ICMP. That is the broadcast protocol. A Smurf attack attempts to use a broadcast ping ICMP on the network. You're working late one night and you notice that the hard drive on your new computer is very active, even though you aren't doing anything on the computer, and it isn't connected to the internet. What is most likely the suspect? Virus is spreading. TCP/IP hijacking wouldn't be possible because it's not connected to the internet. Your system is under DOS attack. Denial of service attack is done over the internet as well. A disk failure is imminent. That's what I chose the first time, but it's a virus spreading. If a disk failure was imminent, there'd be clicking. Not a lot of activity. If anything, it would probably be less activity. What is a single fixed resolution of an LCD called? Native resolution. Refresh rate is like 60 hertz, 120 hertz, that kind of stuff. Default resolution is just similar to native resolution. burned in resolution. I think those are there to throw you off. Let's look them up just in case so we don't have doubts. I know it's native resolution, but I'm wondering if they really do use these as a synonym. LCD specify. Yeah, see, it's native resolution. So the proper term would be native resolution. Default resolution being like a close synonym for it or whatever. So what's this burned in resolution? So they just took they took screen burn in and they just put it in front of resolution. Yeah, it's not a thing. Okay. You are sitting in a coffee shop and using the public wireless network. You suddenly notice suspicious activity on the laptop. Which laptop feature should you use? With a Wi-Fi toggle. You want them to stop being able to connect to your computer. The surround sound mode, known as 5.1, employs how many speakers when only one is used for each channel? So 5 being front left, front right, center, rear right, rear left. And that's 5, and then 0.1 would be your sub, so that would still count as a speaker. So that'd be a total of 6. Which of the following display types physically creates the image displayed in a manner most similar to OLED displays? So OLED, it doesn't light up a pixel or excite a pixel that is not supposed to light up, similar to a plasma where it uses that. So both OLED and plasma displays use electrodes to excite the material in a sealed chamber to produce light. Each in its own way uses that light to create a red, green, blue individual subpixels. All LCD panels form images that require an external light source. So your backlight on that. Which of the following are advantages of e-readers using e-ink over tablets? So what are the benefits of e-ink compared to tablets? Longer battery life, because it kind of it uses the electricity to draw the image on the screen, and then it doesn't have to keep on refreshing like a tablet. Usually not the best screen resolution. More vivid colors, usually they're black and white. There are some color ones now. Easier to read in bright light, definitely. When approaching an older LCD panel from the side, you don't realize that there's actually an image displayed on it until you're almost in front of it. Which options might explain why you could not detect the image on the side? So privacy filter is the first thing that comes into mind. We're choosing 2. Older LCDs were equipped with a motion sensor. No. Multiple monitors are in use, and the LCD is the secondary monitor, resulting in poor. No. The monitor employs active matrix pixel addressing. No, because then the image would be better. It is a passive matrix. Why is it passive? Passive matrix is addressing for their pixels, resulting in a poor viewing angle than that created by active matrix LCD panels. Additionally, privacy filters, right? Which of the following, so now we're learning what we missed. Which of the following types of LCD has the best performance? Now we know it's active. Which of the following is not a valid reason to disable cellular data networking? This one made me mad. Let me see if I was wrong. I know it was because oh man, I forgot. It's not you're about to download an update to your phone because you would want to... Wait. What is not a valid reason to disable your cellular data networking? I'm just gonna reword it because that confuses me. So why should you not disable your cellular data networking? So why should you not turn off your cell data? You're about to download an update. Your phone calls are going out over your... That's what I chose last time, right? No, I chose this one. Yeah. You have access to a reliable Wi-Fi signal. It's the wording. It's the wording of the question that confuses me sometimes. Which device in an inkjet printer contains a print head? The ink cartridge. Which of the following is not a valid reason to disable cellular... we just did this one. Where's it at? That one. Which of the following types of LCD has the best performance characteristic that's active? Boom! Done! Alright. After this one, we're only 2 away to getting back to where we were. Which utility is the system configuration tool in Windows Vista? MSConfig. You are migrating one standalone machine from Windows XP to Windows Vista. Which of the following tools should you consider for transferring user state data and application files? USMT. No. That's for servers or large. So Windows Easy Transfer. Across the network, USMT. Which command lists all running processes at the command line? Sorry. Task list. Which of the following connector types is a MFF connector? So mini form factor. Small connector or little connector? I think it was small. Damn it, it was little. That's how I memorize it, little connector. That one always gets me. Which of the following network locations disables network discovery in Windows Vista? Public. Most printers that use electrographic process contain how many standard assemblies? 9. Except for the newer ones where they use 8 because they don't use an ozone filter anymore. In Windows Vista, which of the following utilities can be used to see the edition and service pack installed on a system in Windows Vista? WinVer. And all Windows versions with which you need to be familiar with for the APEC. The WinVer utility can be used to see the edition. So it's not just Windows Vista, it's all of them. Which utility is shown in the figure? That little icon right there. The little box with the pixelated other boxes going out. Regedit. That's like a dead giveaway. Which editions of Windows 7 include BitLocker? Choose 2. I know it's not Home Premium and Starter. Pretty sure. I know it's Ultimate. I don't think Professional has it. I'm gonna go with Enterprise, yeah. Which of the following is used to store data and programs for repeated use? Information can be added and deleted at will, and it does not lose data when the power is removed. So automatically does not lose data when the power is removed. It's not RAM. Information can be added and deleted. ROM, read-only memory, it can't be written easily, so it's not that one. Internal cache memory, that's obviously lost constantly. So especially when power is removed, so it's a hard drive. Which utility is shown in the figure? Figure A, Windows Vista utilities. So I see the little red toolbox there. So I know it's a was it MSC or something? So it's not Windows Memory Diagnostics. It's not a print manager. Data sources, I don't even know if that's a thing. I know it's component services. So let's see if data sources is just a made up thing. Trying to throw us off. Data services, a service provider that enables data across on-demand, also called data as a service. Okay, so it's not an actual utility, it's just kind of like a data provider. Okay, so it's just there to throw us off. Which following IP addresses would not be valid for a DNS server on the internet? So which one's private? It's this one. And I only know that by memorization. I need to go through my IP addresses again. Make sure that's on my list. IP addresses. Just need to memorize them. Which tool from Microsoft simplifies the process of creating a Windows 8 image for upgrading multiple machines and reduces the time each install takes? MDT? Yeah. Microsoft Deployment Toolkit. So I just deploying multiple. That's how I have to remember it. You have been asked to install Linux in a virtual machine on a Windows 8 client. Okay. The Windows 8 client needs 4 gigs of RAM. Linux needs 2 gigs of RAM. How much RAM does the system need at minimum? So you just add them. 4 plus 2 is 6. There needs to be enough RAM to support both OSs. So the answer is 6 gigabytes. More is better though. I really don't get the point of that one. It's just too simple. Which wireless communication method has an operational range of about 1 meter? NFC is like super close. Oh, excuse me. Wi-Fi is farther. Bluetooth, I believe, is 10 meters. Infrared, I think, is what is 1 meter. Yeah, NFC is 10 centimeters. Wi-Fi, 30 meters. Bluetooth, 10 meters. You're the administrator for a large bottling company. At the end of the month, you routinely view all logs and look for discrepancies. This month, your email system error log reports a large number of unsuccessful attempts to log on. It's apparent that the email server is being targeted. What type of attack is most likely occurring? So, it's not a worm because it's not in and self-replicating yet. It's not TCP/IP hijacking because it's not trying to take someone's actual session. It's actually trying to log on. So it's either a backdoor attack or a software exploitation attack. This one I have to memorize as well. There's something that I forget on this one. Oh, excuse me. Let me move this over. Okay. Alright, so a backdoor attack and a software exploitation attack. Backdoor versus software exploitation attack. What are the differences? I think it's just there to throw us off. Yeah, I'm gonna go with backdoor. And it's not. A software exploitation attack attempts to exploit weaknesses in software. A common attack attempts to communicate with an established port to gain unauthorized access. Okay, so let's just look that one up by itself. An exploit is the use of software, data, or commands to exploit some of these I just don't understand why, you know, because like, okay, let's do okay, so a backdoor is a means of accessing a computer program that bypasses security mechanisms. Oh, okay, so this one's not bypassing a security method, it's trying to log on with like a it's just too. A programmer may sometimes install backdoors so that the program can be accessed for troubleshooting or other purposes. However, attackers often use these backdoors to detect or install themselves as part of an exploit. So your email system error log reports a large number of unsuccessful attempts to log on. It's apparent that the email server is being targeted. So they're trying to log on. And this says the software exploitation attack attempts to exploit weaknesses in software.
What the hell are you yelling about?
Unsuccessful attempts to log on. I mean, they're not trying to exploit the weakness in the software. It's just trying to log on. Maybe that question is just written wrong. I don't agree with that one. How do laptop hard drives differ from desktop hard drives? They're smaller. No separate connections. They're not completely different standards. The most common factor of laptop. Oh my god, the song's distracting me. The most common form factor of a laptop hard drive is about an inch smaller. Yep. Laptop hard drives are solid state, not all the time. You have just installed a wireless router on your home network. Which of the following should you do to make it highly secure? Change the default administrator name and password. Choose 2. Okay. Configure channel 11. Won't secure it. Enable web. Terrible security. Change the SSID. That'll help. Which of the following system types does not benefit from video enhancements? Alright, so CAD and CAM design workstation, only one, right? That deals with video, so yes, that would benefit from it. Audio video workstation deals with video, so that would help it. Home server PC is just kind of pushing info, so it's not really video. Home theater PC is pushing movies and stuff, so there you go. You have been asked to advise a group of several universities who want to combine research efforts and store data in the cloud. Which type of cloud solution might be best for them? Community. I looked this up before. Private and public are like the two main other ones, right? So community is used more for, like the question says, universities, like educational places. Private is used more for companies that are just wanting to keep all their stuff on the cloud privately. Public would be like that'd be like your Google Drive. Well, that Google Drive would be like a hybrid because you can make it both, right? So like let's look at this here. So if we look up hybrid cloud solution, so a hybrid cloud is particularly no, that's not a good one. One second. I think he'll give me an explanation here. So, when multiple organizations with similar objectives want to combine efforts in a cloud, best choice is generally a community cloud. This allows for flexibility and scalability normally found in a public cloud. Oh, that's what it was. It's like how flexible it is. If Windows is installed on a system with multiple hard drives, what tool can be used to verify that the images are pointing to the intended drives? Diskpart. If you install Windows on a system with multiple hard drives, you can use Diskpart to make sure the images are pointing to the intended drives. Peter is configuring a home server PC. Which of the following should be his least important priority to include in his home server PC? So he's making a home server. Least important. So you want a gigabit NIC to transfer large amounts of data. You want a RAID array. You want file and print sharing. Home server PC. So it's between maximum RAM and media streaming, right? So what does a home server PC do? It can host people, but is that really? Least important. I think media streaming would be the least important. And of course it's RAM. Additional RAM in the home server PC offers no advantage for the performance of the server past a certain point. The tasks the server is asked to perform do not require high performance. Well, which of the following is the most helpful when flashing BIOS on a desktop computer system? UPS, you don't want that power to go out. That's the most important. You don't need an interconnection or a floppy disk drive or a Windows administration password because you don't even deal with that stuff with this. Just like a USB. So, UPS. Your network is running IPv4. Which of the configuration options are mandatory for your host to communicate on the network? Choose 2. So that would be, for you to communicate on the network, you would need an IP address and then a subnet mask to know what subnet you're in. Your system log files report an ongoing attempt to gain access to a single account. This attempt has been unsuccessful to this point. What type of attack are you most likely experiencing? So, your system log files are reporting an ongoing attempt to gain access to a single account. The wording on these, man. I know it's password guessing because I've done this one before. It occurs when a user account is repeatedly attacked using a variety of passwords. But it doesn't mention that. It's just saying trying to gain access. It doesn't say how. In Windows, a quick way to access help is to press which key on the keyboard? F1. I've gotten that wrong quite a few times, now I know. What's F12? Because that's what I really don't use the F keys much. Except for like F4, F5. Key. I'm getting fatigued, man. F12. Open the save as window. So those are in Microsoft Word. Open Firebug. Access the list of bootable drives at startup. Yeah, so it's just like for start. I have used it for startup before. Okay, but F1 is always help, right? Help screen. Yep. Okay. You have been asked to configure a client-side virtualization solution with 3 guest OSs. Each one needs internet access. How should you configure the solution in the most cost-effective way? So you only need 1 physical NIC, but you need 3 virtual NICs for each guest OS, and you only need 1 virtual switch. Each virtual machine will use its own virtual NIC. Virtual NICs will communicate with a virtual switch managed by hypervisor. Oh, man. I'm getting fatigued. I need to make it through level 9 though. I need to get back. One of your network users has an older laptop with no Bluetooth support. He recently received a Bluetooth headset that he needs to use with his laptop. What is the least expensive way to make a headset compatible with his laptop? So he needs a Bluetooth headset to work on his laptop. Use a Bluetooth adapter. Mini PCIe, nope, not on the laptop. Buy Wi-Fi compatible headset. I don't even think there are any. Replace the laptop, nope. In a drive path, what does the system partition usually appear as? 0. You have an inkjet printer. Recently, papers are being printed with excessive amounts of ink, and the ink is smearing. What is most likely the cause of the problem? Fuses for laser. Too much humidity in the air wouldn't cause that. It would cause sticky papers or something. Faulty ink cartridge. That's probably what it is. Corrupt print driver would be with how it's printed, not the amounts of ink that's being dispensed. You are troubleshooting a server and discover that one of the hard drives is in RAID 0 array and has failed. Which statement is true? So what is true? You need to replace the failed drive and the data on the array is lost. True. You do not have You do not need to replace the failed drive. The system will function normally. No, it's broken. You gotta fix it. You need to replace the failed drive, but the data is okay. Wrong. RAID 0. Once one drive fails, everything's gone. You need to replace the failed drive, but the data is okay because it's configured as a disk drive with parity. Wrong. So you need to replace the failed drive and the data on the array is lost. Which video technology has a resolution of 1280 by 1024? SXGA. Only know that because of memorization. Which repair option keeps personal files and settings along with the default apps and those that you installed from the Windows Store? Refresh. I'm gonna put that on my list because Windows repair options. Okay. Windows 7 Ultimate can be upgraded to which versions of Windows? Choose all that apply. So Windows 7 Ultimate can upgrade to Windows 8. It's not Core. I'm gonna go with Pro. That's it. All right. I wonder. I haven't checked this in a while. Windows 8 versions. Yeah, so the other option there I think was like Enterprise. It's not even an option. There's Windows 8, Pro, and RT. I guess there is Enterprise. Alright. Which of the following descriptions most closely matches that of a thin client? A dump terminal with a NIC. Although not all thin clients are devoid of local processing, some are. High resolution graphics are not a requirement, but thin clients do require a NIC. In Windows 7, what is the default setting for a UAC? So user access control. Notify me when programs try to make changes to my computer. Do not dim. It does dim it. Notify me when programs, and then it doesn't say the no dim. So Peter is configuring a home server PC. Which of the following should be his least important priority? There's maximum RAM, even though I don't agree. You're the administrator for a large bottling company. At the end of the month, you routinely view all logs and look for discrepancies. This month, your email system error log reports a large number of unsuccessful attempts to log on. It's apparent that the email server is being targeted, which, and this was a software exploitation, another one. What's up, Aqua Cow? You think it's bullshit? What do you think is better? I mean, one of my friends, he's wanting to do his CCNA, but I've been looking at like jobs, and they say they want certs, and A+ is actually on some of the requirements for some of these job applications. I know there's like CCNA, but I mean CompTIA is kind of like one of the big ones out there, right? I know there's like specific certifications for certain jobs and stuff. Well, yeah, of course, AquaCal. Experience is the best thing, and I have like over 5 years of direct experience with servers and like working with it, and over 10 years of just working with computers. So of course, experience. But man, when you're out there looking for a job, a lot of these people want these kind of certifications. Like I have a degree in technology as well, like an associate's degree, and for some reason I keep on losing these jobs. So behind the times, yeah. I mean, but here's my theory on this, AquaCal. If I have the A+ certification, I think it gives the employer the benefit of doubt that I know the base of everything, you know? Even though, like, that associate's degree that I have has that certification, but I guess they need to see it from one of these programs or something, you know? It's crazy. Yeah, and I would do CCNA. You know, the Cisco certifications I know for sure are awesome, but they're hard, man. They're really hard. So my plan is just getting these out of the way. I get a nice little discount from my previous college, so I can go and get a discount on these certs, and I feel it just wouldn't hurt to have this in my belt. So my plan is doing the A+ and doing it finally, because I always had it in my mind and I always procrastinate, so I'm just going to do it. And then from there I'm going to go to the Net Plus with CompTIA, and from what I've heard a lot of people say is the Net Plus would give you a good chunk of the CCNA that you've like learned and stuff. And then from there, then I plan to go and start my Cisco ones. So this is kind of like my base. But I agree with you. Sometimes they are a little bit behind. Like they took forever to go from 801, 802 to 901, 902. And there was only like a little bit of a jump. But with all these certifications, man, honestly, even with CCNA and stuff, there's just some things that don't change. You know, there's some things that are kept constant. There's a base to it all. And that's kind of what I'm just trying to get here, just to give myself a little bit of motivation that I can at least do some of it. Let's see. Understood. I've been doing professional IT for the first time soon. Oh, I'm sorry, man. That sucks. I recently got laid off as well. Was it just a company, or was it something to do with yourself? I'm curious. Cloud computing shop. Yeah. Need a shop that can use me in the meantime while Katrina. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like, to be completely honest, like right now I have an issue with like memorizing all these little things, you know, like that the exam wants you to memorize, like the specific size, screen size, resolutions of things. It's like, dude, if it doesn't work when you plug in the video cable, like I know where to go, you know, to do it, to change that resolution. It's like you don't really need to know exactly how many pins are on that cable. You just need to know that that cable goes in, you know, and that they're compatible, you know, whether it be with DB connectors, SATA connectors, whatever, right? You don't need to know the pins on that. When it comes to RAM, you don't need to know the pins for all of them. Like you do, right? You don't want to stick the wrong RAM in there, but you look up the motherboard, you see what RAM's compatible with it, and then you buy that RAM. You don't need to specifically know always in your brain what it is, you know. And those are some of the things that frustrate me with the CompTIA. So when you said that, you know, you probably never really pull any usable knowledge from it. Yeah, I mean, there's some things you'll learn, and there's some things you really don't have to learn. So, Western Digital bought SanDisk and laid off their entire sales force. Damn. Oh, so you were in sales? But I don't know, AquaCow. Like, it's a good base, and I don't know. Maybe you'll benefit from it as well if you want to get, because I'm sure you'll be able to knock this certification out in no time. I'm using this app. If you want to check it out, this app actually has the CCNA and stuff study guides on it too. If you want to check it out, really cool way to learn with this app. But I don't know, man. I think we're kind of in the same boat where like we can just both knock it out and just have that base, because a lot of companies seem like they a lot of companies look like they want that certification base knowledge, and I'm sure if you got like your CCNA, like if you jumped right to it, like it would bypass your A plus and your Net plus and all that. But for me, it's a confidence thing. I want to gain some confidence by getting these smaller ones and then going up to CCNA, because I know it's going to be difficult. And the way I know is when we were in college. One second. Okay. In college, we actually studied for Cisco and all that good stuff. And that's how I know it's difficult, because I've went through the study material. Yeah, well, I mean, best of luck to you on finding a job. But me and one of my friends, we were looking for jobs in our profession, and we've just been turned down a lot. And our theory is because we have similar experience and knowledge, you know, and we have associate's degrees in technology, and we still lose jobs to other people. And the only thing we can think of that is causing us to lose that is maybe someone with like multiple decades of experience, but maybe also certification. So I figured it doesn't hurt to have the certification, you know. So I don't know. It just varies. There's so many jobs out there that it varies with all of them. But my theory is like, hey, I'm getting a refresher on it all, and it wouldn't hurt to have the certifications for me to walk in there and go, hey, I have 3 certifications plus an associate's degree plus over 10 years of experience with technology plus 5 years of hands-on experience with servers and such, you know. Mindshift? Let me Google that. I've actually never heard of that. Salary is salary is an important thing too, that I'm trying to get at as well, because there are some kind of jobs out here. I'm in Texas, and there are quite a few jobs out here that want entry level or people that really don't have, like you mentioned, intro IT folks, but the pay is really low. So, and wow, their website's not even loading. I'm going to mindshift.com. Oh, it's probably wrong, right? Yeah, I think that's something else. What if I put a technology behind it? Oh, okay. Mindshift Technologies. Oh, okay. They're in Austin, Texas. $45K? That's actually in the salary base that I want to kind of be in right now. Of course, more is always nice, right? But interesting. Their website doesn't seem to be working though. Mindshift.com. Managed IT services and solutions customized to your business or industry with 24/7 live support. 4-star on Google, not bad. Wow, that seems really interesting, man. Thanks for letting me know about this. Let me look them up on Indeed because their actual website's not working. Ooh, they got a 3-star on Indeed on what kind of work. Has to do with management. And then there's no jobs posted on Indeed. Let's see. It's weird. They got 4-star on Google, and then everywhere else, their rating seems to be low. Which, I mean, I know it doesn't really matter if it's a job, it pays well, and then I personally am fine, but, you know, it kind of starts to make you think and stuff. By the way, I'm totally aware that I'm getting distracted. But oh, okay. So Monster has some, but it looks like they're archived job postings in Dallas and in Austin. But it looks like it's archived because it's like over 30 days ago, and then their website's broken. That's interesting, man. I appreciate you letting me know about this. Yeah, like you said, it's not bad. It's not bad while you're looking for something that you really enjoy, right? Okay, so I'm checking out their LinkedIn. See, I've heard that LinkedIn has like the job thing, but I didn't really know if a lot of companies actually used it, you know. Careers, see jobs on LinkedIn. Okay, so they have one in Virginia, Boston, and New York, so it doesn't look like there's anything in Texas right now. But I'll keep an eye on them. That's interesting. Mindshift, cool. Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I'm gonna give that a shot. But yeah, these certifications, I guess it's just per people. Maybe you're just super smart or something. but sometimes with certifications, I just kind of need that I guess you could say like a paper or whatever, right? That I know I can do it. Something that tells me, yeah, you can do this stuff. So I'm just gonna get a nice base of all my certifications, just kind of have them, and I honestly don't think it would hurt. I know it might be a waste of time for some, or a waste of money because you actually have to pay for the certifications. But yeah. Oh, sweet. Well, thanks for joining, AquaCow. if you want to sub and see where I go from here, you know, that'd be pretty cool. I got some plans in the future. You've been really helpful, man. I'll check you out too. I'm gonna subscribe to you just to see where you end up. So there we go. Awesome. All right, man. You have a good one and good luck out there. All right. Which of the following connector types is a mini form factor connector? It's not small connector, LC, little connector. All right, you have an inkjet printer. Recently, papers are being Aquacal. Oh, did you ever have like a Note 3? Oh, Taoroot. Yeah, I did videos on Taoroot. A whole bunch of other things. It's more like a Note 3 type of channel than, because that's like one of the phones I really like to mess around with. So I appreciate you, man. I got some more stuff in the works in the future. Just kind of trying to time manage. Alright, you have an inkjet printer. Recently, papers are being printed with excessive amounts of ink. That was the faulty ink cartridge. Yeah, Taoroot. I have noticed a lot of people did use my videos for multiple devices. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And of course, like if you go through all my comments, like more than half of them are like, "Hey, does it work for this phone that this video isn't even related to?" I don't know. You know, I was just kind of focused on the Note 3. So if it worked for the S5, that's cool. I know Taoroot was pretty wide and open for a lot of Android devices. Peter is configuring a home server PC. Which of the following should be his least important priority to include in his home server PC? Least important priority would be the maximum RAM. Which of the following connector types is a mini form factor connector? Small connector, SC. You're the administrator for a large bottling company. At the end of the month, you routinely view all logs and look for discrepancies. This month, your email system error log reports a large number of unsuccessful attempts to log on. It's apparent that your email server is being targeted. What type of attack is most likely occurring? Software exploitation. Which of the following connectors is a mini form factor? I get it. It's SC, small. Wait, no, little! Damn it! Oh, God! Which of the following is most helpful when flashing the BIOS on a desktop computer? Uninterruptible power supply. Little, damn it, little. The local connector is a mini form factor connector. Little, local. Gosh. You're troubleshooting a server and discover that one of your hard drives in the RAID array 0 has failed. It's done. You need to replace the failed drive and the data is done. Little LC. Boom. Oh God. Man, guys, I'm honestly getting fatigued. Been at this for 3 hours. I really want to get to level 9 though. Because level 9 will put me right back to where I was before. Debating whether or not to go on. It's like 100 questions more that I have to do. I'm gonna take a small break and then I'll come right back. But I definitely need to make it a small break and not just say it. So I'm gonna end this stream right here, guys. If y'all want to check out the study app that I'm using on Android, it's in the description. It's at the Play Store. It's made by Coco. Go give it a shot. It has all the CompTIA. It also has CCNA and some other certifications as well. Let me show you real quick. Maybe not. Sorry, trying to look. The application crashed on the phone, I guess. But if you go to the Play Store and look up this developer, he has a CCNA one. I was mistaken. It's not in this actual app, but that developer does make one for the CCNA test. I was using a desktop share application off of Chrome called Visor, but now since I got a new phone, it actually comes with its own software. But if you want to check out the desktop share that I used before, it's in the description as well. So I will check back with you later. I'm just going to take a quick little break. I need to get through and get back to at least level 9 and hopefully go on to level 10. So I'll check back with you guys later. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.